big move in here on the week for Biogen. Basically, you're looking at a $17 jump in here, 17-point pop on the week. We're up basically knocking at the door of those 160 handles in here for Biogen. You had that volatility expansion. When you get those nice moves higher that are very quick and rapid, that's when your volatility kind of expands, especially on your call side. And that's exactly what happened in here on Friday. So overall, if you're looking at your options tracking, your options chain and your IB rank, you're saying, well, volatility didn't expand that much, but yeah, especially on the call side, everything kind of got juiced. And you notice that it did not contract a whole lot. Usually when you get those long stair stepping, just kind of grinding out days where you go higher, that's when your volatility kind of collapses. But when you get those nice moves overall, especially from in 1 week, you get a big move like this, your volatility doesn't really contract a whole lot. It actually expands. And that's what happened in here on the week for Biogen. So we're knocking at the door of the 160s. That's going to be our first resistance. Anything above there, 165, 170. Then we're looking up here on the weekly chart at this 173 and then 189 for a longer term resistance. If we do not hold these 157s going into next week, let's say we bang our head off that 160 and then we kind of pull back in here and we do not hold the 157s, then we're looking at that 148 range and then 142 down here. That's kind of where the 9-day EMA is matching up. That's kind of where our lower trend line that we have mapped out in here is sitting from our previous videos that we literally just did. So that is kind of what we're looking at for a longer term major support force, but I don't think that we're going to quite come down here and visit that just yet. I think the 148s will save us. If not, and then we're going to be sitting here at the 157, just kind of consolidating for a little bit. Let the RSI, let everything kind of reset as we might have got a little top heavy, a little overextended here on that big move this past week. $10 expected move priced in by this Friday, 15 by the following. That is going to be your October monthlies. And you do have earnings coming up at the end of October. So again, you have to kind of consider all this as you're looking forward to earnings in here. Take all these big moves into consideration. Look at the catalysts behind them. Is that going to dictate what happens at earnings? That is going to be the question, right? So obviously, if you get a huge pop going into a week or a month where you have earnings coming up, you kind of have to look at, maybe you might want to be a little contrarian. It's just kind of, you got to evaluate, right? And then kind of think for yourself, kind of figure out what is correlating to what, and then seeing how that's playing with the overall markets, what is going to happen in any other news catalysts, things like that. So end of October, you do have earnings coming up in here. Kind of keep that in mind as we're playing Biogen, and then just keep this past week in mind as well as we're forward looking into earnings. But 157, that's going to be the big number in here on the week that we're going to be harping about. Anything else? We're going to be looking down here at the 148s, and then above that, we're looking at the 160s. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.